The gentleman from Virginia is recognized? No, gentleman from Texas is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. When a Democrat gets convicted of a crime, it's called political retribution. When a Republican gets convicted of a crime, it's called justice. This is the justice system that the American people have seen and come to expect over the course of the past few years. Soviet-style show of trials to persecute political enemies. I keep hearing my colleagues on the left say, no one is above the law, and Trump is being treated like anyone else would be. But we're talking about Trump's conviction only. But is that true? In American justice system, we do find that we target, then look through the entire life of history to find a crime, any crime that can be used against them, and then contort the law to convict that target. That's what the Manhattan DA Alvin Bragg did. And how do we know this? That's what he campaigned to do. Do you know who else campaigned on that? Letitia James. And then they delivered on their promises. And the number 3 guy in the Department of Justice, Matthew Colangelo, even left a high-profile job, as you just articulated, ma'am, in the DOJ to work for a local DA's office with Alvin Bragg. That's weird. So from now until Election Day, Democrats will keep calling President Trump a convicted felon, and that's because Alvin Bragg delivered for his team. Now, we're talking about a man in President Trump who is the most investigated person in our country's history. And the only thing that Alvin Bragg could bring up was a zombie crime that no one else wanted to prosecute. And speaking of that zombie crime, I and the American people are still waiting to hear what the underlying crime actually is, and no one can tell us that. The left keeps touting themselves as the gatekeepers of democracy and that they are the adults in the room and can impartially administer justice. I know this doesn't have to do with the Manhattan DA's office. I understand that, but I'd like to highlight a few political prisoners of the Justice Department. While Joe Biden and his team are scaring people into thinking that Donald Trump will put people in jail, Joe Biden is already putting political enemies in prison that we know of. Let's start with the 74-year-old economist, Peter Navarro, who served in the Trump administration. Do you know where he is currently? Peter Navarro is currently sitting in a jail cell in Miami for not complying with a subpoena from the Democrat-led January 6th committee. How about Steve Bannon? He has to surrender himself by July the 1st or he will be arrested. His crime? Not complying with the subpoena from a Democrat-led January 6th committee. Now let's talk about Eric Holder. Oh, that's right. He never went to prison. The DOJ decided not to prosecute him after he ignored a congressional subpoena during the investigation into the Fast and Furious scandal. Does anyone find that hypocritical? Because Lord knows I do. And what about the Attorney General Merrick Garland? He was just held in contempt by the House yesterday. And how many Democrats are going to jump on the side of Lady Justice now? I have a prediction. Nobody. In our 250-year history, we haven't had this problem until Joe Biden was sworn in office, but now we're witnessing the Democrat Party persecuting and jailing their political opponents, including the former president, our party's nominee, and likely the 47th president of these United States of America. Biden is right when he says democracy is on the ballot this November. The only problem is that Joe Biden is on the wrong side of history. I hope and pray that Alvin Bragg and Colangelo will show up to testify before this committee next month. We've asked them, and we shall see. Because the American people deserve oversight, we deserve better, and we deserve accountability. I know it's been a long day for you all, but thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate it, and I yield back the rest of my time. Thank you.